Winnie Mays is Vermilion's full-service Aveda salon and spa, located in the heart of historic downtown Vermilion.
Coming up on Coyote News, the International Club offers varieties of foods to an otherwise bland college diet.
Plus a look at the Mr. USD pageant. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Hello, I'm Cecilia Gillen.
And I'm Cooper Seamer. We'll get to those stories and more. But first, all 16 charges against actor Jussie Smollett were dropped yesterday. In late January, Smollett claimed that two men attacked him, put a noose around his neck, poured chemicals on him, and yelled, "This is MAGA country."
Reports have come out saying Smollett orchestrated the event. The Asandro brothers originally said Smollett paid them $3,500 to stage the attack, but now say it was for personal training. The Asandro brothers are now being looked at by police.
Professor Emeritus Herbert Hoover passed away at his home in Elk Point last Thursday at the age of 89. Hoover started at USD in 1967 and primarily focused on Native white relationships. He was the author of more than 25 books, as well as numerous other publications. In addition to being a faculty member in the Department of History, Hoover served as the director of both the Oral History Center and the Indian Studies program during his time at USD. His family is requesting donations be directed to the USD Foundation and designated for the University Library's South Dakota Oral History Fund.
Facebook plans to increase restrictions on hate speech and content supporting white nationalism and white separatism. This push comes after months of conversations with civil rights groups that called the company misguided before Facebook banned these terms. Last night, a message displayed by PAVE promoting awareness victim empowerment was vandalized. The particular wall that was damaged had a Finding Nemo theme and originally read, "Don't touch the butt without consent." These letters were later rearranged to say, "Dude, touch the butt without consent." PAVE Treasurer Catherine Oppitz says they wanted to take action immediately and apologize to survivors who may have been troubled by the image. She says they would like to take further action by possibly meeting with the residents on Olson 2, where the vandalism took place, to express to survivors that they didn't mean for this to happen and to explain why consent is important. Last week, PAVE joined with the Phi Delta Theta fraternity and presented the Clothesline Project, which allowed students to show support of victims or share their own stories. PAVE is planning more events throughout April for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So, Taya, is the sunshine going to stick around for a little while?
Well, on Friday, the sunshine is actually going to go away. Today hit a high of 72 and was sunny, and tonight's low will be 38. Right now, it's 61 degrees outside. Tomorrow will be sunny as well, with the temperatures reaching 56 and a light breeze. Then it'll cool back down to 34. Friday is when we'll see chances of snow and rain, starting in the morning. Skies will be cloudy and temperatures will be in the high 40s. Friday night also has a 40% chance of snow and rain, and the low will be around 28. Good news is, for your weekend forecast, the sunshine will return on Saturday and the high will be in the low 40s. That night, the temperatures will dip down to around 22 degrees. Sunday will also be sunny with the temperatures up in the 50s before cooling back down to 32. And that's your Coyote weather.
Traditional cuisine from Germany, Egypt, Pakistan, and even America made up only a small portion of the menu at the annual Festival of Nations event. The festival featured dishes from over 35 nations and had the Muck Ballroom filled, with more than 400 participants on Saturday evening. Festival of Nations is a potluck event that allows individuals to share home-cooked meals which represent their culture. In past years, the event featured traditional dances and performances, but in hopes of having more audience involvement, the International Club decided to include a variety of competitions this year, like a hot pepper eating and crazy burger building contest. Festival of Nations is one of the largest events put on by the International Club. To learn about why this event continues to be a potluck event, check out the Volant online.
Partnering with Dakotathon, men around campus put on their best show to try and become the first ever Mr. USD and helped raise $500. The Mr. USD pageant involved 3 categories: lifestyle and fitness, special talent, and even evening wear phases. Each category was worth a third of the total points. The crowd had the opportunity to vote for their favorite contestant by donating money or taking a bandage to wear in support of children's hospitals. The pageant included a 50-50 heads or tails raffle that the crowd got to participate in. All the money raised went to South Dakota regional hospitals. In the end, Kalo Arno won Mr. Congeniality and Carson Sayre was crowned Mr. USD. Half the money raised went to the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. After the break, flooding in the Midwest presents possible fines for South Dakota residents.
The Vermilion Area Arts Council believes the vibrant presence of the visual, performance, and literary arts is essential to a sustainable community. So come get creative at the VAC.
Oh my gosh,
What are you reading?
an article saying Abbott's taking his job back.
There's no way that's true.
It says so right here.
I wish there was a way we could get reliable news information.
Yoga has a way of spilling over into other areas of your life. So lessons that we learn on the mat seem to go with us when we walk out the door. And yoga teaches us to listen to our bodies, to ask for permission, and to learn ways of healing and balancing our bodies.
This is Coyote News.
Midwest flooding has caused at least $3 billion in damage, and there have been 3 confirmed deaths. The O Report's Lauren Solich tells us about the importance of abiding by certain laws set in place due to the flooding and preventative measures for any future rain.
Due to the recent flooding in South Dakota and surrounding states, you might be seeing signs like this one right here on Highway 19 in Clay County popping up around you. The best thing to do when you see signs like this is to turn around or take a detour, because Clay County Deputy Sheriff Aaron Armstrong says that if you were to be caught trespassing on roads that are closed due to the flooding, you could pay a fine of $222.50. You could also be given a civil penalty of up to $1,000. And if you need to be rescued for any reason due to the flooding, then you would have to pay for the expenses of that.
When roads are closed, abide by those signs that are closed. Don't go past it to look for pictures or this and that. Abide by where that stuff is at, because even if water is down off of the roadway and the sign is still there and you think that you can cross, you don't know what kind of damage is done underneath the road or to the road itself. And so there's a reason why they continue to be closed.
When it comes to preventing flood damage in your own homes, Armstrong says it's important to routinely check your sub pumps and pits if you have a basement.
I've talked to countless people that hadn't really checked their pumps and hadn't really gone down there and looked at anything, and then they found out that it wasn't working or there was a problem when all these rains came and they ended up having a flooded basement because they weren't prepared with that. So that's something that's very important to do, is routinely go ahead and check that.
For the Yote Report, I'm Lauren Solich.
While Vermilion itself didn't see too much flood damage, the state of Nebraska did, so Delta Sigma Pi has set up a flood relief program for our southern neighbor. Items can be dropped off at the front desks of North Complex or in Beacom 101. Monetary donations will be accepted at any Campus Purple boxes or through a student's Venmo account.
The Student Services website WebAdvisor is being replaced by the new banner system. Many students remain unaware of what it is and how it's accessed. The main difference between the websites is the design, but the new layout is causing confusion. An advisor says adjusting to the new program is simple.
Basically, students are going to get in to the new self-service system through the portal, just like they did with WebAdvisor. There is a link that students can go to set up their classes, just like they did in WebAdvisor ahead of time. So it's basically the same setup as WebAdvisor was. It just looks differently on the web page.
Ward says students can reach out to their advisors for an introduction to the new program. He says the department plans to set up an information table in the MUC later this week. Coming up, ROTC honors students and their accomplishments.
We can't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
No, never mind. That's too bad. I'm not gonna tread those waters.
Wait, something that's too bad for dysfunctional? You're listening to Dysfunctional on KAOR 91.1.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is Coyote News.
World War I had just ended, but for USD, the ROTC was just beginning. On Saturday, the USD Reserve Officers Training Corps recognized fellow students serving in the military with a night dedicated to their work. They also celebrated 100 years on campus. Coyote News' Sam Sanderson takes a closer look at the commemoration.
The old lumber company is a familiar hangout for Vermilion residents. But this past weekend, it was the host of the 99th annual ROTC Military Ball. The annual celebration honors students part of the ROTC and their accomplishments throughout the school year. Professor of Military Science Dan Sundberg says the USD ROTC program is well decorated.
It's one of the oldest programs in the country, honestly. Over the last 100 years, we have commissioned 2,215 lieutenants. I did a recent query through our Army email system, and I found 119 graduates still on active duty right now.
The event acknowledged the achievements of ROTC members on their training, as well as classroom performance. Attendees also experienced military practices and traditions from the Prairie Fire Battalion. For Coyote News, I'm Sam Sanderson.
The abrupt name changing of Hawaiian Day celebration has launched an investigation by USD administrators. The Student Bar Association's winter social event was originally called Hawaiian Day, but has been changed to Beach Day. Law school administrators made the change due to fears of cultural insensitivity because leis were to be handed out at the event. In an email sent to the Volant, Hawaii State Congressman Bob McDermott condemns the decision by the administrators, saying the lei is a symbol of inclusiveness and welcoming. USD President Sheila Gestring says that the investigation was started to look into whether or not the actions of the law school violates Board of Regents policy on the freedom of expression. According to the president's office, the investigation is being carried out by a general counsel.
This weekend, Keaton Dieter and other students are hosting The Event, a one-of-a-kind music festival here in Vermilion. Kelly Suzamil is live in the muck with Keaton Dieter to discuss the details. Kelly?
Thanks, Cecilia. I'm here with Keaton to discuss the details of the event. So Keaton, who are your musical guests and why?
So our musical guests are going to be Mr. Black Cheeto, DJ Mace, and Kid Fade this upcoming Saturday at the event.
So how did the idea for this event start?
It was basically me and my friend Tony Zeller. We were just talking, and we were basically saying that sometimes the concerts here aren't really run that well, and we just felt like we could maybe put on a better one, and we kind of just talked to local artists, wanted to give them a spotlight, and decided to just make it happen.
So how did the name for the event, how did you come up with that?
Well, we wanted to make it something that was easy to remember, and for people to say, what are you doing? I'm going to the event, just seemed like something that had a nice ring to it, and it was also just kind of funny to us. And now to see it come to fruition and actually be called the event is kind of cool and kind of funny to us as well. So
thank you. The event will take place at the Armory Saturday night at 8. Tickets can be purchased at the door. Live from the muck for Coyote News, I'm Kelly Suzamil.
Thanks, Kelly. So, Molly, I hear the softball team almost swept their latest tournament.
That's right, Cecilia. We'll have the results of that and more next in sports.
This is Coyote News.
Welcome back. I'm Nick Nelson.
And I'm Molly Spurlick. Tonight on Coyote Sports, we take a look at the results from the women's basketball game.
Plus, softball continues its successful season, but first, SDSU's made it into the Sweet 16. The women's basketball team plays Friday night at 10 Central Time against Oregon. Michael Irvin, Pro Football Hall of Famer, posted on Instagram after getting tested for throat cancer. Irvin's father passed away from throat cancer at 51. And Irvin says that saying he's afraid is an understatement. He's now asking for prayers as he and his family wait for the results. Chief Executive of the San Francisco Giants, Larry Baer, has been suspended without pay until July. The suspension comes after the release of a video showing Baer involved in a public altercation with his wife. The video shows Baer lunging for a cell phone in his wife's hand and forcefully grabbing her. After a struggle, she fell to the ground. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred says Baer's actions were unacceptable and warrant discipline. Conor McGregor is retiring from the UFC. McGregor made the announcement yesterday. He's under investigation in Ireland after being accused of sexual assault in December, but no charges have been filed yet.
USD's track and field team competed at the Wildcat Classic over the weekend. The team captured 15 events, including the men and women's shot put. The Coyote women earned victories in almost every running event from the 100 to the 1500 meters. Senior Deshaun Brown and freshman Jack Durst tied for first place in the men's high jump. The team heads to Texas next weekend for the 2019 Clyde Littlefield Texas Relays. The experience of being a D1 athlete is unique, and some get to share this time with their siblings. The Sports Report Nick Wilson talked with two swimmers to hear their story.
Sibling athletes share a special bond at USD. Swimmers Ben and Nick Kopp benefit from practicing together.
For me, just having my brother on the team, just training-wise, really helps me push myself, and I know that there's someone there that won't put up with any nonsense on my side, and I won't put up with any on his side.
The brothers enjoy each other's company during swim events.
We're pretty much next to each other the whole meet. I mean, other than when we're in the pool, we're on the side of the pool cheering on for the other one, but we're pretty much right next to each other.
The siblings enjoy an active lifestyle away from the pool.
In season, we pretty much did every practice together, so we were doing our 20 hours a week hanging out, and we also rock climb in the off season. Not a lot, but enough.
We're also going to be starting an intramural softball team, which we'll be playing on together, so watch out if you're on the field.
While Nick is graduating this semester, he will be cheering on Ben and their youngest brother Zach, who will be joining the team next year.
That will be a lot of fun to have Zach and Ben on the team. I'll be in the stands watching now, but it's definitely a good time.
Good to be a yoke.
For the Sports Report, I'm Nick Wilson.
Thanks, Nick. The swim team concluded their season at the CSCAA National Invitational over the weekend.
The Coyote women's basketball team wrapped up their season at the NCAA tournament last Friday. USD faced Clemson in the first round of the tournament. The women led going into halftime 35-31, but were unable to hold on to their lead, falling 79-66. The Coyotes were the first Summit League team in history to earn an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament.
The Coyote softball team won the series this weekend against Western Illinois to open their Summit League play. Western Illinois came out strong in the third game of the series to prevent the Coyotes from sweeping the Leathernecks. After winning 4-3 the day before, USD fell 6-3 on Sunday. The team is currently playing Creighton in Omaha. The Coyotes' home opener is set for Sunday at noon.
3 Coyotes were awarded the Summit League honors this week. Jamie Holscher of the softball team earned her third Player of the Week award of the season. Holscher has been the top hitter in the Summit this season and was named Athlete of the Month for February. She hit a game-winning 2-run homer in the first game against Western Illinois on Saturday. Coyotes' Ben Hammer and Callie Heinrich swept the Athlete of the Week awards. Hammer won the shot put and discus throws at the Wildcat Classic, and his shot put is ranked 9th in the nation this season. Heinrich threw for first in the women's shot put, earning her first outdoor honor of the season.
USD's tennis team has been working hard this season. Coyote News' Devin Martin was at their practice earlier today.
Thanks, Molly. I'm here on the tennis courts with Luana Stanchu, who's a senior kinesiology and sports management major. And I'm also here with Yana Lazadovic, who is a sophomore kinesiology and sports management major as well. So thank you guys for joining me today. I really appreciate it. So how did the season really kind of start for you both?
I feel like it started kind of rough in the beginning, playing all the tough teams, but then once we got to Florida, we got our confidence back, and we've been on a winning streak. So I feel like we're pretty confident about the upcoming matches.
How about you?
I feel the same. We got our confidence back in Florida when we played some teams that were not that big, and then we won a couple matches, and we feel really confident getting into our conference.
Yeah. And what are some kind of goals moving forward, for you both, and kind of going from there?
I feel like some of my goals are to just have a strong finish, since it's going to be my last semester playing. So I'm just going to give it my all.
Yeah. And how's it feel also that it's like, you're like kind of, last year and, kind of things like that as well?
I kind of feel pretty good about it. I feel a little sad, but a little nervous at the same time, but I'm really happy I got to this point.
Yeah. And as a sophomore, just what are you also kind of looking forward to for the rest of the season too?
Looking forward to finish strong and to play some good matches for our conference, to qualify for the conference tournament or maybe even win it. Those are our goals.
Yeah. And what have you guys both seen with personal growth too? Have you guys really grown throughout this whole entire season and kind of moving forward?
I feel like, yeah, we all have some growth here and there. Like, I feel like it's good that we're trying to be supportive of each other and help each other out on and off the court, and just try to be supportive.
Yes, I agree. We learn how to grow from each other, how to learn from each other, support each other on and off the court.
Well, thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
And then here on the tennis courts for Coyote News, I'm Devin Martin.
Thanks, Devin. After the break, we asked students what's the strangest food combination they've ever heard of.
When you think about the news, it's all about reaching people, making sure they have all the information they need to carry on with their day. And when our producer Talita told me she wanted to create a Spanish newscast, I knew that was something our community needed. As she gathered the anchors, directors, and audio producers and everyone, I could see something exciting in the works.
This is Coyote News.
Different regions in America have certain foods that are unique to them.
And we asked students what's the strangest combination of food they have ever heard.
Here's what they had to say.
I've heard of beef jerky and jam.
I've had a friend that mixed soda crackers with Sour Patch Kids. Jelly beans and coffee. Pineapple and pizza.
A Santa Fe wrap and pumpkin cream cheese.
Probably cottage cheese and peaches.
Cheetos and milk.
Pancakes and ketchup. Like someone dips their pancakes in ketchup. Yep.
Jello with celery, carrots, fruit, and dressing.
Ice cream and french fries.
The grossest thing I've ever seen was someone put a chocolate bar in spaghetti.
Beans on toast. I had a French foreign exchange student that used to eat that.
Peanut butter and jelly. on a sandwich?
I'd probably say peaches and cottage cheese.
My friend likes to eat peanut butter and tuna sandwiches.
Cottage cheese and peaches. One time I had a friend who put pickles on her ice cream.
I like to dip those little Ruffles potato chips into cottage cheese. That's kind of a weird one, but it's really good. You gotta try it.
That just doesn't sound right, Cecilia. I'm being honest with you.
How about applesauce on pizza?
That's a hard pass as well.
No.
Absolutely not. Not at all.
Be sure to pick up a new issue of The Volant out today with a story about the new online bookstore.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
And be sure to watch and listen for Coyote News daily updates in English and Spanish throughout the week on KOR and the Coyote News social media pages. And be sure to tune back in tomorrow for Coyote News in Spanish at 11:30.
Thank you and have a great night.